Mickey, no! I love you. Don't be sad. Hey everyone, it's Jay the Nerd. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below to get all the nerdy content you'll ever need every Wednesday and Saturday. I haven't made a Wednesday video in a couple of weeks. Honestly, I've been really tired, really stressed, been trying to take some time for myself, and I just didn't have the energy or the will, I guess, to make a Wednesday video, but I promise I will be back next week to talk about the second to last episode, and then the week after that I will talk about the series finale of Supernatural. But today I'm going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts and how I went from someone who made fun of it, who kind of thought it was, didn't see the hype, didn't understand it, didn't really like it, to someone who's now in love with it and obsessed with it, as you can see from my shirt. Okay, so I've known what Kingdom Hearts was for a very long time. I had friends in elementary school and middle school who were obsessed with Kingdom Hearts and collected all of the games. Like, they had all of them for all of the different consoles. And so I knew what it was, and I knew that it was something that people really liked. But when I was in elementary school, middle school, and honestly most of pretty much high school too, I wasn't really a gamer. I would play like Mario games and Pokemon, things like that, but that was kind of the extent of the games that I would play, and I wouldn't even, I think Pokemon was the only one that I would consider myself like die-hard obsessed with. So I wasn't really into video games at the time. I really didn't really get super deep into video games until about 9 or 10 years ago, around then. And I've talked about that before on the channel, how Portal was basically what got me obsessed with video games. But anyway, and then I met my fiance Rick in 2016, and he, from the get-go, I learned that he's obsessed with Kingdom Hearts, and he's loves Kingdom Hearts so much, and I knew that. But still, there was something about it that just didn't grab me. And then I heard him talk about it and try and describe the plot to me, and I thought, this is really confusing and weird. And also, I'm not super into Disney stuff, so why would I be into this? I've never been someone really obsessed with Disney. Like, I love Beauty and the Beast and Tangled and Mulan and stuff like that, but I've never been like deeply obsessed with Disney like a lot of other people my age that I know. So I just didn't really see the appeal. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and I would off and on watch him play this, and I was like, it's cute, but again, Disney isn't really my thing. And then I thought that it would be interesting to have him in our podcast Nerdly Ever After try and explain the convoluted, confusing plot of Kingdom Hearts to me, someone who's has never played it or watched it or anything. He had told me bits and pieces throughout the years, and I just thought, this is really ridiculous. I need to have him try and explain this to me. And I listened to him explain it to me. I thought, this is the weirdest thing ever. This doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what is up with this. And then my favorite Let's Players Geek Remix, I remembered that they had a Kingdom Hearts 3 Let's Play, and I was like, you know what? I've heard this ridiculous plot. This might be kind of fun and funny to watch them play this and be confused, because apparently they hadn't played all of the in-between games, so they were kind of lost in the plot, and it was fun to see them be kind of confused. But then, as I was watching this, I started to fall in love with the characters, like Sora and Donald and Goofy and Mickey, Riku, Axel, all of these characters that were so well done and amazing, and they just like tugged at my heartstrings, and I was like, maybe I should try playing these for myself, because I love these characters so much. And then I did, and I discovered that while yes, the plot is very complicated and lengthy and hard to explain to others. But when you play all of the games yourself and you are seeing it for yourself, playing it for yourself, playing it in these chunks and seeing it with your own eyes instead of listening to someone explain it to you, it makes so much more sense. But now I understand Kingdom Hearts and I understand the plot. I love it to freaking death. Playing it myself made me realize how amazing this complicated plot is, and it's not some silly thing that some people make fun of, including myself when I made fun of it before. Like, there's a difference between listening to someone explain the plot to you and then actually hands-on with your own eyes in bite-sized chunks playing it for yourself. I'm a very visual learner. That's why I can't really listen to audiobooks or podcasts very well, because I get lost, because I need something to look at when I am learning something. And so listening to Rick describe this plot, I was lost. I forgot almost all of it after we recorded each episode of the podcast where he explained it to me. But then getting to look at the game with my own eyes, I understood it and I loved it and I fell in love with it instantly. Like, literally I was halfway through, maybe less than that, of Kingdom Hearts 1, and I was like, I'm hooked, I love this, and I played all the rest of the games in like 2 weeks. And Kingdom Hearts 2 is definitely my favorite, but I will probably make another video about why Kingdom Hearts 2 is my favorite at some point. But as you can see, I became hooked. And honestly, like, you might think it's silly for me to become hooked on something so fast, but that's just how my brain works. Like, when I connect to something fictionally, I'm hooked. Like, if it connects to my heart very deeply, I'm in it, because I've always been someone who's gets deeply connected to fictional worlds, and they become a really important part of my life. And obviously the real world is important too, but fiction is how I don't know, like, I find out stuff about myself. It's a safe haven for me, and it's not often that something can like dig deep into my soul. Like, it can take a lot for me to get deeply invested, but when something does get deeply invested, it's there for life, and I just become like, it becomes a really important part of my life. And so Kingdom Hearts has now become one of those really important things, along with My Hero Academia, Life is Strange, Supernatural, Buffy, Avatar: The Last Airbender. All of those things tugged at my heart so very deeply, and they've all been there ever since. And Kingdom Hearts is going to be the same way. It's going to be here in my heart for the rest of my life. And I love it so much. The characters are amazing. My favorite is Sora, which you might think, oh, typical, the main character, blah, 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 what a typical basic thing. But he's who I want to be. He's so positive and brave and confident, and does what he has to do, and always saves his friends. Even though he's not the most powerful person in the world, he always is the one that ends up saving everybody. And I just love him so much, and he's just a pure being. And then I also love, my other characters are Donald and Goofy, Mickey, Riku, and Axel. Those are my other favorite characters. I cried my freaking eyes out. Spoiler alert. I cried my freaking eyes out in the Remind DLC when we played as Mickey and we had to keep standing up and fighting through the 13. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Mickey, no! I love you. Don't be sad. I cried so hard. But I just love the characters, and I love the complicated plot. Like, I just love it. I love it when a complicated plot just like weaves together so perfectly, and I feel like Kingdom Hearts does that. But honestly, it's the characters the most that pull me in, and their relationships, and how the games are all about friendship, and it just, oh, it's a tearjerker. But anyways, that is my journey from kind of not really being into Kingdom Hearts, not liking it, kind of making fun of it, to now being in love with it and being obsessed with it. And that's all I have for you today, and I will see you on Wednesday for my review and discussion of the second to last episode of Supernatural. Bye!